Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What's going on tonight? Man, I'll tell you what, everybody wants to know what the secret is. Uh-oh, got audio in the background. Everybody wants to know what the big secret is. Hmm. It has to
Big
do with
secret.
whether or not you should keep your assets on the centralized exchange or you should put them on a self-custodied hardware wallet. But you know what? The CEO of Coinbase and the CEO of Kraken have both commented on that exact fact because there's some things that are happening north of the border from the United States that have given them a lot of concern. Chip, and that's just one thing that's happening. But you know what? Overall, there's a lot of other developments here with the SEC v Ripple. There's some new news
Really?
coming out on that. We're going to talk about that tonight.
Okay, you ready to do it?
I'm ready to do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
What is going on?
Wait, what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. It's Sunday night. Sunday. And you guys probably wonder why we sometimes start a little bit late. Well, usually Jeff and I are laughing a little bit before and sometimes get a little bit distracted, and that would happen. Today we were doing Today, for some reason, we were watching the Island Boys, and I'm like, we're the crypto boys. We do crypto things. We do crypto. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Let's get going. What are we doing here? Let's get on. This is ridiculous.
If everybody actually knew what we did in those first 5 minutes.
It's fun, man.
The reason why we're late.
It's the most fun I ever have.
The best.
Fun part of my day.
Yeah,
audio check.
Good. Audio check,
going through some, the normal stuff, making sure everything works.
Boys.
Crypto boys. We do crypto things. Crypto boys. I don't know, man. Anyway, that's what it is. That's where we're at.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's so much weird stuff
for today.
That's it. Thank you for everybody. But before we get into it any further, Jeff, I think what we have to do this is something I've been saying early on is like, if it's your first time here, consider liking, subscribing, click on that notification bell. Let's get out of the way early. You know how it works right there.
Yeah.
See that?
My little
subscribe,
easy
notification bell right there. Yeah, that's how it works. So let's get into it. Let's go into there's a lot of different stuff popping.
Chip, I'm going to fix my lighting while we're going through this, but we do have a poll that is pending right now, and we'll release the results as we go through this right now. So SEC v Ripple, judge decision, settlement, or I'm a Bitcoin maxi, who cares anyway? I'm actually surprised to see that 2% of the vote is already I'm a Bitcoin maxi, who cares anyway? So we'll see what happens at the end, but keep voting on that poll. It's in the chat.
Yeah, let's see what people. Right now, it's got a pretty heavy lead. Right now, it's still pretty strong.
So right now, all right, the lead is I'm a Bitcoin maxi. No, so right now, I'll give you guys a heads up as we start. SEC for Ripple judge decision is 52%, settlement 47%, and I'm a Bitcoin maxi, who cares anyway, at 2%. And we'll see what happens.
Who cares anyway? That's what they say. Who cares anyway?
That's right. That's number 3. You can
vote it's kind of. I like to see that right now what's winning is kind of like what we've all been talking about here. We hear a lot about it in the chat, which is always a very good thing too. But we'll see. Let's see. How long are we going to run that thing? About mid-show, I think.
Yeah, we'll go maybe right on the half hour. Maybe we'll even have another poll for the rest of that half hour.
Why not? I say why not, Jeff?
Why not? We're going to have a poll as to whether or not we should do a poll. How about that?
That's something. That would be like we would start imitating Congress. Let's have a bill to talk about crypto. Okay, let's do it.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna have a poll in the second half hour as to whether or not we should have a poll tomorrow night.
And given the fact about there's all this hoopla coming out about this executive order by the president,
man,
and like I wouldn't get your hopes up too high, but what we've heard, at least the preview that we've heard, is that it's looking very much like you guys go in the room together, all of you knuckleheads. Get into a room and you figure it out. Go to the agencies, government agencies, to figure out what the next steps are to firm up crypto. Or of course, if that were the case, then you'd think, well, geez, that's funny. The president really doesn't know how government works, because that's Congress's job. It's always been Congress's job to go ahead. They write the bills that make us all cringe, but that's it. Well, some of them, the good ones, they never even get out of committee. They don't even, they just sit there and they wallow and they have different,
Oh, and
different things. And they have all kinds of
yeah.
bizarros. Thank you, by the way. And left my water out. I had to go ping my daughter so she could
Oh, I need some water too.
ping. And water's good, Jeff. And you did a lot of time talking about coffee and yesterday
good
in your
water.
stream.
But you know what? Good quality water makes a big difference.
I prefer the low quality water. By the way, Jeff, everybody should have those. You ever seen those water straws where you can they're called life straws?
Oh, those are
Got a
awesome.
couple of those in the house. Yeah, you go into a pond and you can just drink.
We've got a lake behind the house, and
Yeah.
I figure if we ever run out of water, I'm going to grab my life straw, and I've got a whole source of water that I can drink out of. I might die after about a week, but
But you can boil it though. That's the other thing too.
Yeah, I'll boil it first, and then I'll use the life straw, so you can kind of do a little bit of both, and then you're all set.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well,
what does that have to do with crypto? Absolutely nothing.
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with crypto, but hey, yeah, right now, everything's kind of intertwined and connected. But this is something we threw up the other day, which is Kraken CEO. That's Jesse Powell. He says users should consider taking. He didn't even say they're consider. He didn't say consider. Hey, by the way, if you're thinking about it, you might want to consider. There was no. There was none of that.
No, I think his tweet was pretty clear. It was like they're gonna. If they ask, we're gonna have to comply. So you should take off. You should take your assets off and put them on a ledger or a hardware wallet of sorts.
Yeah, Jesse Powell said that any users concerned about governments seizing their crypto without judicial approval should take their funds off crypto exchanges, including his own, which is Kraken. Comments were made in the context of Canadian government freezing the bank accounts and crypto wallets of truckers protesting, blah, blah, blah. Let's not get in there. And they also, now this is another thing, Jeff. This is something else that just got under my skin. They threatened to take their dogs and their children, by the way. They said, well, by the way, if you're in custody and you have a dog with you, sorry, we may have to take that dog and put it down, is kind of what they were alluding to.
They didn't just threaten. Yeah, they actually did. They were taking kids away. At least they threatened.
They threatened that,
yeah. They did. How crazy.
So in response to a comment, the crypto exchange will likely freeze people's crypto in the request of police, even without judicial consent. Powell agreed that such action was inevitable. 100% yes. It has or will happen, and 100% yes, we will be forced to comply. Said Powell, if you're worried about it, don't keep your funds with any centralized regulated custodian. We cannot protect you. Right there, Jeff, pretty clear. We cannot protect you.
And and that's a good point. As a centralized exchange, they're under certain regulatory obligation. They have their KYC and their AMLs, and then they have to listen. And if they come to them, they will have to comply, and that's unfortunate.
Well, but that's part of being a regulated exchange. It's kind of up to what's happening with the government on this. And I think that let me see, where's this other one here? Let's look at this here. Yeah. I don't have that tweet. Do I have that?
Which one are we looking for?
I had it. I was looking for the Armstrong one, the Armstrong tweet.
Yeah, it's in there. Armstrong.
Oh, here it is, right here. Okay,
Armstrong is right up at the. Right at the top.
Yeah. So here we go. So yeah. So Chernovich weighed in.
Right.
There we go. Chernovich weighed in and said Coinbase should sue Canada immediately on behalf of consumers who have wallets with them. Otherwise, why use Coinbase if government can seize your wallets? This is a pivotal moment for crypto, and exchanges need to fight back now. And what's weird is Chernovich is an attorney, but he doesn't really know a little bit of, too much what's going on. And Brian Armstrong weighed in and said, I agree with Jesse Powell on this. And then he linked that article that we just looked at. So that article that we just looked at about the fact that you're going to have to get it off centralized exchanges. But one of the things that he points out here, Jeff, is he says, hey, try the Coinbase wallet. That you can download the wallet, and you can basically have this wallet's different than having it on the exchange. So if you use the Coinbase wallet and you move everything to your Coinbase wallet, then you're okay. So in a nice way, he just said, look, I agree with Jesse Powell on this. Yes, exchanges are going to have to comply, especially ones that are regulated by the SEC, since Coinbase went public. Try out the Coinbase wallet, and he puts that there, your key to the world of crypto. Operating word right there is key, because that's where your keys are going to be held. If you have the Coinbase wallet itself, and this was a tip off by Ras Tweet, who's an OG in the OTC space. He said, so exchanges will comply 100% from what I read from your response. And that's right. Now, if you're an exchange and you are not in the United States, then you don't have to comply. Technically, Jeff, but what we're seeing is that doesn't seem to matter much, right? I mean, we're starting to see that apparently in other places like Canada, they're saying that they can seize anything. That's pretty much what they're saying. They can find out who you are, find out where you've gone to, but if they don't have your keys, they're not going to be able to get it. And if you
it's outlandish, is what it is.
Yeah, it's just
right?
I think it's incredible, man. I think it is a seminal, pivotal moment that probably we expected maybe at some point, but I don't think we expected it in 2022. I don't think we expected it this quick. I mean, the way things were escalating and how it was happening around the world. But the last place, Jeff, if you and I did a poll or you and I did a bet back in December of 2021 and said, hey, by the way, which country goes full fascist in the first quarter? I can tell you that if you and I were building a long list of countries, I don't know that you and I would even have Canada on that list.
Canada probably would not have been on my list. And it is shocking. It's shocking to see the people fighting back. It's shocking to see the stance that they're taking, which is irrational. It's also shocking, Chip. I shared that article with you from 2014. So
that's crazy,
we're talking about
Jeff.
8 years ago, and the article specifically, and what was it? I was on the Huffington Post, right?
Huffington Post, yeah.
What was your comments? Like,
Of all
I can't
places.
believe they've been, can't believe they've been posted this. But the commentary from 2014 is the propensity of Trudeau of becoming a dictator, of having dictatorship like tendency. So this is 8 years ago. And here we go. You fast forward from 2014, before all of this stuff happened, to 2022, and look at what you're seeing unfold. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. I mean, I would not have expected it. I wouldn't have expected to see the extent that they're going in terms of shutting down people's access to money and shutting down people's access to crypto. And they're ratcheting up those efforts to the point, Chip, that the CEO of Kraken and the CEO of Coinbase have commented. And not only that, Chip, did you see this other tweet that came from the first of all, there was the Ontario Superior Court of Justice asked one of the self-custody providers to disclose user information, right? So you've got that pulled up? I was about to pull it up. So if you want to zoom in on it, there it is. So they said, we want you to disclose information and not just disclose, but and freeze users' Bitcoin. And so the team responded, which I thought was a real friendly kind of, nice letter. Dear the Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuk is a self-custodial, collaborative, multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. And I think that right off the bat is, hey, you know what? We don't actually custody anything.
No, but
we're into software.
They're into software, Jeff.
Yeah. So what are you expecting of us? What are you asking of us? And so they go on, our software is free to use. That's nice. They're not selling it. It allows people to eliminate single points of failure and store Bitcoin in the safest way possible while preserving privacy. So, Chip, the safest way possible, is that referencing keeping it off centralized exchanges, you think?
That's exactly what they're talking about there. Talking about, and this is, and I think this is, and look, I know I know we've got a pretty educated crowd out there, but I think we need to I think people don't always connect it, Jeff. I don't think they understand. They go, not your keys, not your crypto. It's a fun phrase, but I don't think people understand what it means. And a lot of times people think, well, my crypto's off the exchanges. It's surface talk. The bottom line is that your keys, the key is in your is in your possession. That's what's on a cold storage wallet. The crypto itself is always going to be on blockchain. You're not taking it off the blockchain. If it's sitting on a centralized exchange, like some of these, like a Coinbase or a Kraken, then that's regulated by the government. They can go in there and they can come in there and they can seize it with a court order. Or they can come in there with some sort of a, they need some sort of something from the court to be able to do so. But if they do that, that means that key of yours for your crypto is not sitting on the exchange. The moment you move it, your key to your self-custodial wallet, that's what people are talking about. They say, not your keys, not your crypto. And sometimes people are like, okay, great, you say that, but what does it actually mean? And I think now that the proverbial peanut butter is hitting the fan, Jeff, I think it's a time for people to really listen up. And I think what's happening in Canada, if you don't think this is pushing the adoption of crypto at lightning speed, then you're missing it. If you had 30 grand in the bank, you're not going to go pull 30 grand out of the bank. First of all, I don't think you're going to get 30 grand in banknotes. And you're not going to, what are you going to do? Bring it home, put it in a safe, keep it in your house? Made out of paper. That paper, something happens to it, it gets wet, it disintegrates, fire, you're done.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think there's some definite, a lot of conversation. I've heard some rumblings of conversation about that. People are talking about taking money out of their 401ks, taking money out of the banks because they don't have faith anymore based on what's been happening. What's amazing to me is that we're seeing outspoken commentary coming from all over the world. And there was that member of parliament from what country was it? I can't remember. What's that?
It was from
Did
the
you see that
EU, I
one
believe
from
that's one of
Bolivia?
them.
No, from the EU? Oh yeah, and so he came out and he was extremely, shocked as to what he had seen, coming out of Canada.
You
So,
see that, Jeff? What's trending right now? Don't say it, but you see what's trending?
I see that.
Hashtag, yeah,
And that's
BFH. So there you go.
that's exactly right. So pull up the rest of that. Let's go through the balance of there we go. So here's another really key point with everything. We do not collect any user identification information beyond email addresses. So maybe they'll take name, email address. We also do not hold any keys. So this means that they're not doing KYC. They're not doing AML. Again, they are just a software provider. And so in this case, here's the bullet points. We cannot freeze our users' assets. We cannot prevent them from being moved. We do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up, and this is, I think, a really underscored point right here. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Chip, I saw
That's the
that
ultimate
part.
troll ever. That was the best ever.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. The Nunchuk team, they could have just ended it with, please look up how self-custody and private keys work, because obviously they don't know that part either,
Well, in a nice way, this is saying, hey, are you dumber than a box of rocks? Apparently you are. By the way, when your dollar is worthless, we'll be around. So be seeing you guys soon. You guys will soon be users as well. That right there is the ultimate troll. And I don't know who this Nunchuk team is, but I wholeheartedly love them because that was written so with perfection and grace and that last little ping, that little zing in there. Gosh, is that a beautiful thing, Jeff? Just absolutely
amazing. Yeah, and so that, so Pomp, your buddy Pomp, had tweeted that one out again. And there was obviously some other commentary on that little tweet.
Yeah, Cliff High said when the Canadian dollar becomes worthless. And that's really it. And some, Pomp nailed it on this one. I mean, it's like this right here, Superior Court of Justice asks self-custody wallet provider. This is nunchuk.io. So let's go check them out. Nunchuk. I like the whole idea of nunchucks. I always liked the nunchucks until you can go awry using the old nunchucks, Jeff. You know how that works.
So check this out right now, Chip. As it's the poll is progressing, 119 votes in so far. SEC v. Ripple judge decision 48, settlement 48, and I'm a Bitcoin maxi. Who cares anyway? Has now 4%. So the Bitcoin maxis are commenting.
And let's take a look at this. Pull it up. There's Nunchuk right there. Your Bitcoin guard it. Use the Nunchuk multi-sig wallet. There's your hardware key. There it is right there. So it comes pretty nice looking. 4 billion Bitcoin million have been lost forever due to loss of private keys. Safest custody solution for your Bitcoin. So the multi-sig is interesting. So I think you have a backup key with a hardware wallet. No single points of failure. Most exchanges are single points of failure. Single key wallets are also single points of failure. Protect your Bitcoin with multiple keys. At least 2 keys are required for spending. The loss of any one key will not compromise your funds. Kind of like that. Never manage your Bitcoin alone. You too could be a single point of failure. Nunchuk boosts your Bitcoin defense through collaborative custody. Co-manage your Bitcoin with your trusted ones. Ours is the first and only multi-user custody solution. Communicate and transact all in one place. So, they built a pretty cool solution. Privacy is a must. That's what we just saw. More people involved, the higher the risk of data leaks. Nunchuk's end-to-end encryption ensures all of your communications and transactions stay within your group. No one else can know. Not even Nunchuk, Canadian government. Of course, I do that, but you own the data. It's all yours. There's your multi-sig
right
device.
there. And so between that, Chip, you got this, the Nunchuk, we've got the Ledger. So here's the question. What if they come after the platform? What if they decide that they want to shut these guys down? And they say, well, if you don't want to
They can shut them down, but they don't have access to it.
Right.
There's nothing they can do. They don't have access. It's like showing it at someone's house and saying, "Do you have the keys?" No, I don't have the keys. Search the entire house. We don't have access to it. So it also works with. I saw it works with Trezor. It works with. Where do I see that? Oh yeah, Trezor, Ledger, Keystone, Bitbox, Cold Card. It works with all of them.
That's good. So and then this is what the CEO, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase, and as well as the CEO of Kraken, both of them are recommending this. Not this platform specifically, but recommending moving off of the centralized exchange. I mean, it's pretty astonishing. I did not anticipate that we'd be at this point today, where we'd have 2 major exchanges making a recommendation like that, and yet they are, making these recommendations.
But this is a turning point in crypto as well. And I got to give hats off to Armstrong and Powell, just because they could sit back and not say anything, but they're telling their users, look, if it comes push to shove, we have to comply. We're regulated. Look at this, Jeff. Stu Brown, appreciate your service to crypto, my friends. Watch you every day from New Zealand. That's really awesome. Good morning. It's morning over there in New Zealand, so it's really fantastic to be catching the show live. Really appreciate your support there. But again, I think we're hitting a turning point in a lot of things. I mean, 2021 is shaping up to be very different from 2022. You thought in 2020 things could go awry. 2021 things were kind of the same. 2022 is shaping up to be quite a different year.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's just crazy different. I mean, that's a really good commentary on that. Here we are coming out of coming out of an environment that nobody really no one anticipated, global shutdowns. And so where did crypto go? Crypto actually was growing pretty routinely over the past year. And now we're seeing a little bit of resistance, a little bit of pushback. Governments don't know exactly how to handle the direction things are going, and they don't like the idea that people have the freedom of taking control over their outcome, over their futures, over their existence. And so I think this is some of the pushback, and we're seeing that play out up in Canada. Honestly, like you said, we started, Canada would be the last place we would have expected this to happen. I also didn't really anticipate that they would immediately start singling out cryptocurrency, but I think what happened was that they started realizing that there was money flow coming in through those donation sites. And then when they started shutting those down, they came and said, well, crypto, but they didn't just say it was the transaction. They decided they were going to shut down all crypto, and they really ratchet. I mean, honestly, I'm still, just going through and I'm reading some of the commentary of people up in Canada that seem to be okay with it is even more shocking.
Well,
Just
that's how it starts,
the
though.
behavior.
But Jeff, this is the history lesson that everybody maybe didn't want or ask for, but probably needs. And people are real highly critical of what happened in Germany, late 30s, coming up to World War II. People think like, well, geez, why didn't those people speak out? How come they didn't say something? How are they hauling off people and putting them in rail cars and shipping off to places like Auschwitz and into these camps? Why were they doing that? How were they systematically walking into basically across Europe untouched, going in? Because it didn't start as, hey, it started off very, hey, well, first of all, we're gonna have to change some rules. Okay, what does that look like? It looks like this. Okay, well, what about this? And they slowly started eroding people's freedom, and then people had to start complying, and then it got a little bit more serious. And this is the frog in the pot, scenario
Yeah.
where frog doesn't know it's in the pot, thinks everything's fine until it's too late. And this has happened throughout history. Nobody speaks up, and it's easy and looking back saying, well, geez, Jeff, no one said a word. I can't believe only a handful of people actually stood up, because it didn't happen overnight. It happened a little bit gradually. They turned it up. Next thing you know, that's what happened. And everybody was saying, hey, what happened? And this is what's happening now. People are like, it's okay. It's just one thing. And what I've seen a lot of people saying, at least the contrary view is, and I said, forget about what they're saying. Who cares it doesn't matter substantively what they're protesting. They could be protesting the price of butter is too high. The bottom line is they're doing it peacefully. They have the right to assemble. But when you enact the Emergencies Act that they did in Canada, you lost every freedom. Not only did they, but every person in Canada, every Canadian citizen lost everything. And people are saying, but now it's illegal. They can protest. It's illegal. It's illegal. Why, Jeff? Because they passed this. And again, I don't even think that was ratified by Parliament. I thought they had six to 8 days to actually
Yeah.
put it through Parliament to actually make it stick.
Yeah, I don't, that's it's really it's devastating. So that's why, we really have to be very cognizant of what's happening on a global scale, country to country. Obviously, we see some things going on, some conversation, discussion going on over in the Ukraine. And this is getting a little bit political, but it's definitely relevant to crypto because it's impacting our cryptocurrency investments here at this point. And we're seeing some of the big exchanges that are also very concerned about people's individual liberties and freedoms. And they're saying, when you have, again, I can't, underscore this enough. When we have a CEO of a major exchange now, Coinbase is traded, on the stock exchange over here. It's a publicly traded company at this point, and so we really have to, get some sort of a understanding to what the ramification is for Brian Armstrong to come out and make a statement to say, hey, you know what? I actually agree with the CEO of Kraken. And it during this period of time, so we have the member of parliament from the EU came out, spoke out against what was happening over in the Ukraine. Then you have the Ukrainian prime minister who came out recently and said to Biden and the Biden administration, hey, if you think that there's ramped up Russian aggression right now, why don't you put sanctions on them today? Why are you waiting? This is the prime minister of the country that is supposedly being attacked, and he's coming out and saying, if you think they're attacking us, then sanction them today. Why wait till
Right.
tomorrow? Doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of things that don't make sense right now, and we're starting to see a lot of this unfold. And we have to be very aware of how we're investing. We have to understand how all of these world events are going to impact the growth of the cryptocurrency space. Because right now, if we look at Canada and people are really, really concerned about where they're putting the money, Chip, up until now, we talked about Lebanon, we've talked about
Yeah.
Turkey, we've talked about
Venezuela.
Venezuela, we've talked about, El Salvador, we've talked about countries that don't fit into the box, so to speak, that Canada is. And now all of a sudden we're talking about Canada. Now it's hitting home. Now it's right here. Now it's in a quote unquote, democracy.
Yeah,
And so
so-called, so-called.
so-called at this point, so this is where it is very, very demanding of all of us to understand. And John Deaton actually had an interesting statement, earlier. I don't know if you have that tweet ready.
Which
It's
one
here
was it?
someplace.
Was it the about
Here,
the
this is it. I've got it right here. So and this I think really should resonate to everybody that's tuning in. And this is it right here. John Deaton: the crypto world is not doing what it should. It should unite. Now, this has to do with the SEC. So this is another, major overreach. So, we can sidetrack for what's going on in Canada, but now we have focus back at home with the SEC. All of this stuff is all happening right now. It's all impactful. And John Dean was saying the crypto world is not doing what it should. It should unite versus the SEC. Celsius Network is next. Coinbase, Kraken, or Crypto.com will be sued. Gary Gensler decided he and the SEC will regulate crypto, not the CFTC. He's going to establish jurisdiction through enforcement. But what John Deaton, what really resonated here was the opening. This is what's resonating from John Deaton. The crypto world is not doing what it should.
You want to know why they're not doing what they should? Same thing I was just espousing or a little bit earlier. They don't think it's about them. It's not about us, Jeff. They're going after that Ripple company. And oh yeah, I know they had Blockfolio, and I know that there was a couple settlements in Nexo, and they shouldn't be doing that. But this is when you allow that to be okay, when you're not awake, you're not paying attention to what's going on. Again, it's an attack against all crypto. They're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. They're not going to slow down. And Gensler's already said the pillar of enforcement. And people joke and they say he's a clown. He's not going to stop. You want to talk about the Gestapo? I mean, that's what we got there. We got hardcore happening everywhere. People who are small want to regulate the masses. They want to keep everybody. What would be the actual, I guess, reason that somebody would want to come after any exchange that would pay you a percentage, 8%, 11%, 160%, whatever it is? Why? Well, that's just not how the world works. That's only for the elites, Jeff. Those are for the people on the other side who get to do that. When you cut out the middleman, so to speak, that all of a sudden can't fly. And you're seeing that happen everywhere. And guess what? It's like the Wizard of Oz. When you go behind the machine, you see the little man pulling the buttons and everything, a little feckless warrior, like, pretend wannabe self-appointed leader. We're seeing this everywhere. We're starting to see this in Canada. We're starting to see this in governments. The thing I'm encouraged by the most is that people are standing up. They're like, hey, we're not going to sit around and take this, because when you see that inflation is 6 to 8%, you're not making 6 to 8% more money. You actually might be making less money. And if the rates go up, it's going to get even more difficult. So you're going to see 8 to 12% inflation. So this is it. It's a consistent all around
it's an all around
across
theme,
the board. So
it's everywhere. It's good that you're bringing up inflation, because as inflation rises, so too does the devaluation of your fiat currency. So meaning that your fiat currency just doesn't buy as much as it did before. And what we're also seeing at the same time as inflation is that we're seeing the crypto assets increase in value beyond where your fiat currency is. So your fiat currency is decreasing in value, your digital asset is increasing in value, but you're facing significant inflation. Chip, I went to get gas today. It was $4.25 per gallon. $4.25 a gallon.
Yeah,
And
year ago it was 88 cents.
it was, yeah, exactly. It was inexpensive relatively. We were living good. Food, food costs gone up significantly. We were watching the Daytona 500 earlier. I was at my buddy's house, and he was getting burgers and hot dogs. And the other day, I got a pack of hot dogs for the kids here. $11.99 a pack for hot dogs that used to be $7.99 or $8.99. The hamburgers went up, from not, a couple months ago, $4 or $5 a pack for hamburgers. So we're seeing this across the board, Chip. I mean, it's everywhere
it's
you
bad.
look, everywhere you look. And I look at the crypto, I'm like, man, crypto's good. XRPL is good.
I want to get these 2 super chats. EC2189, thank you for that. He says, why you value stuff over people, say the thief and the government? Astute observation right there. And then we've got this one here.
It's a good one.
This one is follow the money. It's greed from KHUD. Yes, it is. Always follow the money. Then we got another one from KHUD. Is financial slavery. That's right. And that's kind of where they want to keep you a little bit on the small side there, because that's where it's all headed. I wanted to get into this tweet right here. Winter, why are you still here? And this was none other than Srdan. So Srdan right there in Croatia. There's Old Town right there. Beautiful place.
Yeah,
but I was looking at this, and it's like, if he wasn't wearing, honestly, in a photograph, Jeff, if he wasn't wearing a cool little hat, a baseball, a visor with the jacket on, man, it looks really nice there. I almost felt like, do I see a palm tree somewhere? No. But it's so funny. If he was just wearing a t-shirt, he'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to go there. Look at the boat in the background, beautiful background. Looks like he's on vacation. You're like, why is he wearing a jacket?
On?
You're wearing a jacket for, man. It's summer already. What the hell? What's wrong with you? So Srdan, to put that up there.
Great picture, dude. That was a great picture. Really nice picture.
It's a really beautiful picture, man. Let's throw it up again. They're really great looking, man. It's just perfectly composed and well looking. And Srdan's got the eye, man. He's about ready to give somebody a beat
really
down.
Cool. Hey, Chip, I want to bring this up. Let me just bring this up just one real quick second. Right. And I think this is really cool because if you look, if you're able to join on the chain here, look at this brand new emoji. I don't know if you guys saw it. There's a brand new lemon emoji. Chip made that today. Made a lemon emoji. Right. That's the OTC lemon, that's pretty cool. We get a little green leaf on it, but that's a really cool lemon.
Yeah, well, that was cool. So the more people, so this is kind of cool too. It's like we're kind of throttled on the emojis. Like we want to do all these emojis, but like it depends on how many members you have. So I was going to go ahead and throw this up real quick. Just so people can kind of like see this here. Let me see if I can.
Lemon.
Here we go, right there. So you can see that. So these are the emojis. You got a rocket ship. You've got the, and for some reason I can't make that bigger. I usually can, but
what's that fourth one? That's the moon.
That's the moon right there. That's a moon icon. I think I want to put a line around that so it's a little more. So there's the moon. You got the ripple. The ripple, and you've got XRP. Then you of course got a lemon. And of course you get these custom little. OTC, loyalty badges next to your name in the comments, another thing too. And there's basically 3 levels. Down with OTC, there's OTC hodler and the OTC whale, but it's still another way to support it. Jeff and I looked at this for a while, but again, people ask, and it's just a nice way to, and then you can use these emojis, which Jeff just showed you. You can see that other one in there. So
that's pretty cool. Look at all these lemons. Lemons are all over the place.
I love lemons, Jeff. So here's another funny thing. So somebody in a recent comment, I saw a comment today in your video from yesterday. It said, excuse me, gentlemen, what is the significance of your lemon trees in the background? And I was going to answer, and I thought to myself, I've lost the plot on that, Jeff. I don't even know where it started. All I know is it started out as like you had a lemon tree, then I had to have a lemon tree, and then we both had to have lemon trees. And it was like, I don't know. But they're like, what's the whole idea of lemons? So.
The lemon's cool. You make
you get a lemon
out of lemons.
Lemonade, that's how you make it. That's how it can be.
Let's go on the lemons. We don't need the lemonade yet. Just gathering the lemons.
No, we don't. But I will throw the link down there if anybody is interested in joining. Let me throw this in here. It's in the chat right there. And I love
Everyone's got all sorts of lemons. Look at all these lemons. I guess there's a lemon in the. People got lemons. It's not the on the chain lemon.
Oh, it's not? Okay, well, maybe
no, these are onion lemons with the little.
We might have to change that, Jeff. We'll have to make it unique then.
We're gonna make it super unique, even
we'll make
cooler.
It unique. Yeah, we'll make it unique.
Make it cool.
But there you go. Yeah, that wasn't the point. Lemon tree, very pretty. Sing the song, Chip. I'm not singing any songs today. I'm not doing songs today. I already.
The lemon tree.
Island Boy, the lemon tree.
With the crypto boys.
There it is, right there. Crypto boys. There you go, right there. So there's OTC.1/join. We even have our custom URLs, Jeff. That's what I love.
That's pretty
OTC.1/join, and boom, it pulls up this massive
nice.
URL that you would have to
So,
do.
hey, what do you think about this Gottheimer bill on stablecoins? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, before we get to that,
You don't want to
can
get
I?
into this. This is solid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, at this day and age, why anybody would want to put their money in a stable coin that is on par with the USD, which is losing value by the second. Okay, so I don't know. I really don't care too much about stable coins. I know it's a great way to park it somewhere in an exchange or somewhere. Great, but
They're
I
so
don't care.
excited about it. That's
don't
kind of what kind of what I was gonna say too. I mean, they're so excited about the stable coin, but I'm just
problem,
glad that
Jeff,
he's throwing out. They're attacking bills from every direction. You know, really, Gottheimer announces Stablecoin Innovation and Protection Act, critical new cryptocurrency legislation. Then they just emphasize the stablecoin.
this is the problem. I mean, I don't think anyone's going around, you know what the problem is, the stable coin? No one's saying that. Everyone's saying, how about you have some clarity around digital assets? And guess what? Because the stable coin is competing with the dollar, no, it's not. It's on par. So as if you have a dollar, a stable, whatever stable coin that's on parity with the USD, well, so what? It's like, so now your digital asset, your stable coin. What a funny joke that is. Stable to what? If it's on, it should be called a parity coin because it's on parity with an actual dollar.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
stable at all. The value is going,
Especially now that we're having inflation. So you put it over into a stable coin, and then we're facing inflation. Your
That's
stable
right,
coin
Jeff.
won't be worth quite as much as it was a couple days ago.
Well, here's something I
Um,
did want
yeah, go
to.
ahead.
I want to chat about this, Jeff, and I want to get your thoughts on this because somebody was saying on crypto Twitter saying, "Hey, this is awesome. California is now accepting Bitcoin as legal tender." And I said, "Wait a minute. Wait a
Hold the
minute.
phone.
Back up. Hold up.
Back it up.
California, that
No
would
way.
be cool if that were happening. But let's
Not gonna happen.
dive into the bill here. This was
California.
introduced by Senator Kamlager. Here it is right here. Legislative Council Digest as introduced, blah, blah, people. But here's the real thing. People of the
Blah,
state
blah,
of
blah.
California enact as follows. Section 1, and then they noted another section is added to the government code to read this. A state agency may accept cryptocurrency as a method of payment for the provision of government services. So it was a little bit misinformation. So they were saying, yeah, Bitcoin's going to become legal tender in California. No. It's actually that cryptocurrency can be used as a method of payment for any provision of government services. What are your thoughts on that? As he drinks some water, I'm doing drinking water.
What are they classifying as a provision for the provision of government services?
I'm thinking
are they referring to this as
tax-based.
individuals, or are they referring to it on a corporate level? In which way
Well,
are they?
I'm thinking anything you need to pay the government, and when there's going to have to be some fee to the government, can be done in cryptocurrency. That's the way I took it. But
So
you're
the
right. I
question
don't
is,
know.
are they going to accept directly the cryptocurrency, or is it going to be like how Ohio did it, where they used a transaction service where you get on, and almost like a circle type environment. I forget which one they used. It might have been BitPay or one of them. I don't remember exactly, but you went on and then you put your crypto, and then they got paid out in US fiat.
Yeah, but right now it's only a bill, so they might have to define exactly how it happens. But
Yeah,
if they
that's
say,
pretty
yeah,
vague.
it's if you couldn't use crypto to pay government services, then that would be a big boom. But I mean, let me look it up. I'm
So
looking up government
yeah, and
services
then
in
so here's the
California here.
question, is California doing this because they're like, "Hey, crypto is good," or are they doing it because they're realizing that, "Hey, you know what? We probably aren't gonna win this battle, and, we should probably accept crypto because there's a lot of people here that have cryptocurrency, and maybe it's a good way to have them pay for our government services."
It could be, Jeff. So here's something else that kind of went. I know this tweet rubbed people the wrong way, but I want to get your thoughts on this. This one is this is Hugo Philion. He
Oh, yeah.
obviously is the CEO, founder of Flare, and he wrote, and I kind of see where he's
I'm
coming
not
from. He
happy
said,
with that
look,
tweet.
yeah, we did not build Songbird so you could get a payoff. We built it as a test and governance network for making Flare better. If you're going to be part of our community, have some long-term vision and contribute. Otherwise, feel free to show yourself the door. Now, that
No.
first,
Yeah. What do you think, Chip?
well, look, the first part, he's right. Look, I understand this right here is spot on. Look, they built Songbird because they wanted to stress test Flare. They wanted to make sure all the bugs were worked out because they didn't want people getting hurt. They didn't want hacks happening. They wanted to make sure it was a stabilized network, and that's why they introduced it. And as it came out, we know that exchanges like Coinbase didn't give it to people their Songbird. But again, they felt like it was a good intermediate step to make sure the network was safe and sound. But the second part, Jeff, was that necessary?
I think, to an extent, but this goes back to, I don't want to rehash what I'd said before. But, so you look at the first part of it.
Rehash.
I don't know if I want to say that again, but
No, but we know, we kind of know where you're at.
yeah, but so the first part of it, I agree with you. They launched Songbird. Everybody knew why they launched Songbird. They launched Songbird as a test net. They were going to test the network. They want to figure out if it all worked. And then, there's a way to delegate and you can make some additional SGB. And we went through that whole process of how that works. But we knew it was a test. It has value, might go up in value, might go down in value. They might dissolve it. Who knows what the objective was with SGB? And even they had said in the beginning, it might have value, might not have value. But at the end of the day, it was all about their primary solution, which was Flare. Then,
Right.
you move on and he says, okay, we get that part. He got a lot of flack, but I think he got more flack for this comment right here. If you're going to be part of our community, have some long-term vision and contribute. Now, I don't know what he meant by that part exactly. So he could have ended it with, if you're going to be part of our community, have some long-term vision, period. But he said, and contribute. What does that part mean? Does he mean buy SGB and lose money?
No, I don't think
Does
it's
it
that.
mean participate and enjoy the network because let's test it out because we need to test? But
I
if you
think
don't share that vision and you don't want to contribute, then there's the door. I mean, don't contribute, but don't complain either. It's in
yeah, I
canary
mean,
form. It's not like it's the spark. And all these airdrops when people, I'm not liking these airdrops. The
hang on a
ones
second.
and
Hang on a
this,
second.
yeah. What is it?
Srdan said it was an idiotic statement, but he obviously is an experienced businessman, but as a geeky developer who
Hey,
doesn't have any social intelligence by
that's
design. Now
hilarious.
that's Srdan's comment on it. Look, the bottom line is, frustrations, and I saw Weeds of Win when I had to put a tweet out the other day because I was like, show one of the best assets the XRP community has, show some respect. But people complaining because he took the site down, it was taking all kinds of time. He did it. He wasn't getting paid to do it. He just did it, and it was getting harder and harder to pull the stats. This guy's got a family. He's got a team he's leading, and you're wondering why he took the rich list down. Who gives a crap? And the way people were treating him on Twitter was horrible. I mean, I just can't understand it. And Hugo Philion is reacting to. Here's what he's talking about: contribute. In other words, figure out the way to test the network, stress anything that goes along with that. Stop complaining. Stop messing around. Look, if you got any value, if you ended up with $1, it was more than you had the previous day. But people talking about value and this and that, they're missing it. Now, I know that he's reacting out of, it's just a reaction. It's an emotional reaction. But don't say feel free to show yourself the door. That's not how you do it, Jeff.
No, I agree with that part, and that goes.
We've all been there. We've all said things we don't mean. I mean,
yeah, exactly. You get upset and you're passionate. But Srdan did say it. It shows those types of statements. I guess that goes back to my original thought that we had. It was months ago when this was all unfolding. Inexperience. There's people that are experienced in how to handle things, and then there's inexperience, and then there's still inexperience in dealing with controversy. I mean, it's not easy. And so he's very tied to his project. I'm going to give him that. He responded the way he responded. This still goes back to this idea of airdrops, that people have an expectation of getting something for nothing with these airdrops. And I like the airdrops where there was no fanfare. They show up and you don't hear anything else. I'm not so happy about all these airdrops where they created a huge amount of fanfare, a lot of expectation, and then nothing. And it just seems like they're wrapping everybody
Yeah.
into it emotionally, and it's just not. You want people to be excited about your project, great. Talk about your project. Do an airdrop and say nothing. It's
Look,
like, just drop here. You have XRP, that's awesome. There's gonna be a snapshot. You might get some free whatever. I'm not gonna tell you percentage. You might get some free. That's it. Done. Not gonna say
that's
anything else, and you move on.
exactly. And Apex has a really interesting comment here. He says Hugo's got Twitter fatigue from all the wind flare folks. Having someone else manage his social would help. He's the CEO after all. It would literally cost him $20 a month to outsource. But again, look, I mean, people are human, and the human side comes out. It's like, look, if you don't like it, then what do you want me to do? But Jeff, I want to go to a little bit more of a fun segment here and just kind of show this. But yeah, I want to show this because, and I guess I want to remember who put this. Oh, Han Solo, our producer Han Solo put this in, sent this to us. And this is it right here. This is Santiago Velez, who says, this is not the dollar we have, but maybe the dollar we need. So it started out as Andrew Jackson here. You guys know Andrew Jackson. He's on the $20 USD banknote. And it gradually started morphing into Rambo. So you see, like, just like,
Really
it kind of like just a couple little tweaks to the lips there, a couple little nose tweaks. Next thing you know, you got Rambo. That's Sylvester Stallone. And I was like, it might not be the dollar we need or we have, but it might be the dollar we need. So I thought that was really funny. So was it Han Solo? My gosh.
Han Solo.
Dude, I mean, listen, I knew at some point I would slip and call you Han Solo. Hands loaded, right? Because just being a Star Wars geek all these years, man, I knew it was going to come out. Like, it almost happened a couple times. Like, our producer, let me correct the record there officially. Our producer, Hans Loaded. There you go. Thank you for correcting the record. That's what a good producer does right there. But so I came back and I answered this and I said, hey, man, I see your Rambo and I raise you a Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Look at this right here, Jeff. Boom. There you go. A little Rick Grimes. I know you're not a Walking Dead guy, but I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I want to see if there's any Walking Dead fans in there. You see a couple zombies on the side. But all they did really there was just put a beard on them, pencil in the gun, and then it looks just like Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. It's incredible because he has that, because Andrew Lincoln, the actor that plays him, has that strong nose, and I'm like, man, who knew? Putting a full beard, not that weak beard that Abe Lincoln has. I'm talking about the full beard. Threw a couple zombies in the background. This is fantastic, Jeff. I just love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
EC2189. Also, the human side. There's the door, and leave your keys. There's the door. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. You're welcome to leave. K-HUD. Yes, when you talk the game up and you own zipper pants, you better represent.
Yeah, and then here you go right here. Here's just a bunch of pictures with Rick Ryan with the big old gun. There he is. There's all.
By the way, Chip, Sir John is saying you're Han Solo from now on anyway.
Listen, Han Solo is legendary
That's it. When there's no more hands loaded, it is now Han Solo from now on.
Ouch, Han Solo. I knew I was going to do that at one point, Jeff. I knew. And like, look, this is it right here. This is probably, it's just this image flipped right there. Look at that. There you go. You see a little, you see a little
Rambo.
Yeah, there it is. So you look at it and it's like, it's pretty good, man.
It's pretty
solid.
Astute. Very cool.
People are really a lot
There's
of fun.
Something else here. I'm trying to find it right now. And it's, where is it? Got the Brian Armstrong. Oh, here we go.
This one up while
Let's see. This goes back to some other. Yeah, I got it here. And pull it up.
What you got?
We
What you
go
got?
over here. Just want to throw this in because it's perfect timing. So John Deaton, Judge Netburns' decision on the motion for reconsideration will be the biggest decision in Ripple's case. I say that because I don't believe the motion to strike the FND is a significant one because the judge isn't deciding what is WR? Weather? What is WR, Chip? Ripple had fair notice, but only WR can argue it. What is WR?
I'll find out.
Why am I
Jeff. I don't
stumped
know.
here? What
I
happened
don't
here?
know.
When I read it the first time, I didn't see the WRs. Someone help us. Help us, please. Someone's got a WR in there. But
Read
it
write
goes
is
on.
one of them. Reinforced with, random with. I don't know.
So John Dean says the reconsideration motion relates to the 63 emails containing drafts and comments regarding the Hinman ETH is no longer a security speech. The final version of the speech discusses both Bitcoin and ETH. The final version does not refer or mention XRP, but Deaton goes on and, goes really into, a lot of, commentary here. And man, we're getting to this point with regards. There we go. Hans loaded with a save. With regards to Ripple
With
had fair
regards.
notice,
There you go.
but
Nice.
only with regards it can argue it. I don't know.
With
I don't
regards.
know.
There you go.
We're going to use that one from now on.
Hans loaded saves the day.
But
And then the
anyhow, man, this is exciting. I'm excited about this. Forget about all the other stuff and the, difficult stuff that we're talking about, but all the excitement, man, there's some good things that are getting ready to come out and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so here you go. Here you go right here. So Opensea got hit. As far as we can tell, it's a phishing attack. We don't believe it's connected to the Opensea website. It appears 32 users thus far assigned a malicious payload from an attacker, and some of their NFTs were stolen. And Bob Ras, who is the CEO over there at Sologenic, says that this is one of the thousands of reasons why being fully decentralized is the key. #XRPL. A phishing attack could never happen on a decentralized platform that doesn't collect users' email addresses. The last thing crypto wanted was the OpenSea's hack at this moment. And then Eleanor Terret had this. She said today in my members, we talked when she was on, she was talking about taking a blockchain course.
Right. Yeah, perfect.
She says, today in my blockchain course, we're learning what legal implications companies should consider when fundraising. Highlights include the Howey test, the difference between utility tokens and security tokens, and between an ICO and venture capital funding. Seems timely. And there she shared this right here. There's her computer with her cat. It's kind of like maybe helping her cheat a little bit. I don't know, it's like just hanging out there. It's a cool shot.
Very cool shot.
And there she is looking at a little picture of the screen right there. And I was disappointed to know that she uses a PC, not a Mac.
I'm very happy. Very happy she has a PC.
No one would be happy about a PC and an i5, by the way, processor. And there's her notes. And I'll tell you what, she's got some very good handwriting.
Look at that.
Very good handwriting, Jeff.
It's real fancy.
It's fancy.
Very
schmancy.
clean. I could say
K-Hud says
it's not.
K-Hud says, I find it amusing that the government uses the word motion, but they never follow through. It's a good point. Damn good point.
So crazy.
Damn good point. It
is so crazy. Like,
Jeff,
so
what
here
else
we
is
go.
crazy?
You know what's crazy? Hang on. We got a decision here on the poll.
What do we got? Bring it
I
up.
announce the poll. I got to end the poll right now. I'm going to end it. The poll is ended.
Okay.
Now everyone's going to see the results in the poll.
What do we got?
And there we go. So the poll, judge decision wins 49%, settlement 47%, and I am a Bitcoin maxi. Who cares anyway at 3%. And that was a legit poll because we had 214 votes in on the poll.
Oh, nice. I like that.
It's a good cross section, of the entire United States. We'll call it. Let's call it the whole XRP community, at large. So there you go.
And thank you, Sophie. No, it's a pretty cool poll. I love when a lot of people vote too, because if you have like 6 people vote, it's not a really good. It's not a big enough audience,
It's a good
Sophie,
audience. 214 votes. We need to share that with Mr. BXRP to show judge decision wins by 2% and a stake.
I wanted to say thanks to Sophie today, who I'm always in streams and even the stuff that I love, and I'm watching her live stream. And I sometimes don't hit the like button because I just forget. I'm like caught up in the content. So Sophie says, love the stream, all the OTC community, like and subscribe, help grow the channel, stream 6 days a week, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Stop by and learn something new. Thanks, Jeff and Chip. Good night, all. Thank you for that, Sophie. Really appreciate that.
You said a lot in that comment. That's
well,
good.
I added the I felt compelled to add the times in there, but that's it, man. I mean, that's where we're at, Jeff.
Hey, look at this, Chip. We are now movers and shakers in the poll world because Robert Morris confirms 214 is a good sample size. I agree.
That's a good sample size.
And we have people from all over the world, so that it's good. That's a fair sample.
It is a fair sample, and it's sometimes these political polls. I look at the sample size, like 600 people. Like 600 people. I mean, we already had a third of that, and we're just OTC. Yeah, right there. Anini says, thanks, Chip and Jeff, the OTC family. We have Alan says, thanks, Chip and Jeff. Really appreciate all your hard work. No, it takes a lot to do the channel. Thank you. Hans Solo. No, he didn't say. He said Hans Loaded. For all your hard work and as well, because you're a good dude, and I can't sing the praises of Hans Loaded. Man, what? Really happy to have him as our producer, and he knows the good segments to pick out, and that's on the other channel. You guys should be subscribing below if you're not. There's a couple hundred people in here, but that is the on the chain short little clips, 8 to 12 minutes, sometimes a little longer, but the best bits get pulled out. So that's all I have.
We're going to start putting up some shorts as well, so we can get that channel going. You get some shorts. I was playing around with some shorts today, recording.
Oh, nice.
I got my little handheld gimbal thing going now, so I'll be able to make some cool shorts. Wasn't working without the gimbal, but it'll be cool with the gimbal. So
the word gimbal is always a weird thing. But anyway, Jeff, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, can you read that like Beavis?
Just a poll. Me TV for me, boy. Yeah, Jeff. What a way to end it. Thank you, 10 people who are left. No, we've got 200 people on the stream. Too much free time, Jeff. Too much free time.
We'll save this for the 5 minutes when we're late. It'll be tomorrow's conversation. That's funny. All right, we'll be back on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with more great comments.
Yeah, and ridiculous comments and laughter and joking and poking and all that fun stuff. But guys, we love you. We guys will see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out. See you.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.